as the major obstacle preventing you from reaching the systemic change that you envision for Nigeria?
I do believe that there's nothing that is right in the country that could make it possible for a just and fair situation to arise in this country. It's not just about me alone, because we've reached a level that even if tomorrow everybody decide to vote for me in this country, somebody will rewrite the result to favor the person who may not even have participated in the election.
Wow.
And they will announce it and damn the consequences.
And nothing will happen.
And they know that nothing will happen. They, of course, will tell you, go to court. But don't forget, they are the ones who just appointed 11 justices into the Supreme Court. In the US, if a single judge of the Supreme Court is to be appointed, the whole country will shut down. Everybody will be asked, are you his classmates? There will be hearings upon here. Here, I don't even think if I ask you, you know the names of the 11 judges that were nominated by Tinubu into the Supreme Court. You might know that of the Court of Appeal because his Wike's wife was one of them. So that one was
and
one.
the lady too.
Yes. It was Wike's wife that put those ones in trouble. That's how we got to know who they are. But that's the kind of country you are in. It is the reason why in 2019, I then came to a conclusion that we must have a hard conversation about how to make the next move. And I seriously believe that only a revolution can bring about that order that we give life to the good people of this country.
I was coming to that place to ask you, why do you think revolution?
Because in every circumstance where a revolution has happened in the world, all the objective conditions that are here were present. The only thing that is the ingredient we haven't added to it, the Maggi that we have not added, is a conscious populace.
For revolution, people will die.
No, it's not. See, let me tell you.
Because the kind of revolution
on October 1, we had the protest. We're supposed to be a nationwide protest. The police were afraid to kill people because they killed in August. Yes, a lot of people. But do you know the number of people that died in a boat capsized in Niger? 160. So is it revolution that killed them? But it's the condition of their country that led to that situation. Because if Nigeria were to be functioning, it's preventable death. I'm not saying that people will not die, even if the country is the best. I mean, Florida just went through a major flood.
And they're still going.
People died there.
They just went
but the reason why you are not panicking about it is because, they have a government that at least will bring helicopters, will bring rafters and rescue people. I'm sure that they're even rescuing cats now.
Yeah.
So that's how important the life of a cat is to them than our life is important to our government. So you could be in any situation and die. Anything can kill you in this country. A whole luxurious bus can fly into the river. Nobody is even making any attempt to rescue them. So it is not the fear of death. It's not the reason why we should not advance a different political agenda.
So as you do now, you know they fear death.
Well, it is not something I argue anymore because I never knew, and I'm sure you hear this from a lot of people, that I will live to become 50. I never thought I would live to become 30 years old. Yes. When I was living in the University of Lagos, death was hanging all over me. Because I wasn't only after the military. It got to a point we also had to fight internally against cultism on campus. And I was attacked by cult gangs on campus. So, when you open the face of different, enemies around you. So, but I have lived a life in which I don't even watch my back anymore because it's no longer necessary. I can't protect myself. And I do not believe that anybody can protect
you. Also worried for your family if you're not protecting yourself. How about your family? Because if they don't feel reach you for here, they go see reach your family there.
No, but you can reach my family. But those ones at least have a general belief that they can be protected by their own
government
leaders, their own country. But let's also be very global in our thinking. that the struggle for liberation, when it gets to a point, can reach you anywhere. I wanted to mention earlier that when I met Nnamdi Kanu in 2019, he said to me, "Are you going to Nigeria?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Are you mad? I just left Nigeria. They came to kill me in my house. They killed 28 people."
Wow.
And I remember telling him, I said, "If you are still doing this Biafran thing, you are not safe anywhere. Because there's a global interest to keep Nigeria the way it is. So that,
Global interest.
oil can keep flowing in direction of multinationals. There are people whose interest is to make sure Nigeria doesn't progress so that the black man will not find his feet globally. So anybody who is also fighting them here, you are fighting that global economic interest. And that is what was clear to us during Ken Saro-Wiwa's death. The world could have saved Ken Saro-Wiwa. Even Mandela refused to make the call to Abacha. Or he said he called Abacha, Abacha didn't pick. All of them could have made that call and said, "Look, if you touch this guy, we are going to give you hell." But because, Ken Saro-Wiwa went and pressed the red button, which is oil. Do you know why Ogoni land has over 62 billion cubic feet of gas?
62 billion.
This is not even oil.
Gas.
Because what most people don't understand is that oil is going out of business. But gas is going to be around for a long time.
Yes.
So that is what they're interested in protecting. And the guy who starts saying, "We own the thing," I was like, "What's your problem now, guy, man?" And they finished him. Global conspiracy. It's the same thing they did to Kanu now. How do you think that Kanu was kidnapped in Kenya and brought to Nigeria, and there's no manifest of the plane that brought him to today? Even judges cannot ask for it. How did he get to Nigeria from Kenya? Who was the person who abducted him from the underground garage? Who was he expecting that made him to drive privately to that place and got kidnapped? Who are the people that kidnapped him? Because the Kenyan government came to court and said, "We're not aware. We don't know who did this." You cannot. Is it possible to fly a plane, a private jet, out of an airport without two governments getting involved? How can it be more secretive? It's because there are global conspiracies involved too. And it was as if I was being prophetic. The day he was brought back, I was at the Federal High Court. No, it was Court of Appeal, and they said, "Kanu has just been brought back to Nigeria." I said, "How?" They put a hood over his head, even in court. I ran down there. Before I got there, they had already arranged some kangaroo, with the judge. The judge said, "Go and detain him." And that's been his situation since then. That's been his situation since then. So I'm saying that we are also conscious at our level that we are not also dealing with local interests. And I think my family understands that. Because don't forget, my younger brother was also killed a few years ago on his way from school in, close to Benin City. My direct younger brother. And see, today, the police did not disclose to us who did it. Even initially, they said it was Fulani herdsmen. They sent us some pictures of people they claim were Fulani herdsmen. But my younger brother was killed at a police checkpoint that they claim had been vacated by the police. So, yes, it's heavy.
Global conspiracy to keep Nigeria where it is.
It is, yes. Anybody who is doing this who doesn't understand that is not ready for a Nigeria of the future.
But people would say the definition, except you have another definition of your own revolution, but the main definition of revolution is forceful, takeover. And like Nedu said, bloodshed and stuff like that. How do you intend to make this work without also endangering the...
No,
because Nigerians are scared. The truth is, Nigerians are scared to die.
They are fearful people, yes, I understand. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you can, under any circumstance, get total liberation without a fight.
Yes.
Because even protests, they shoot at people. But what makes a revolution sweet is that it's the numbers you introduce into it. If a huge number of people can convince themselves that it's time to move and they move together, you have limited casualty. You have limited casualty because the people who want to kill you will be outnumbered. That's why revolutions are very popular and sweet. But to say that somehow I can guarantee you that the day after we will not count some casualties, including some of ourselves.
Do you think we'll ever get there where we'll say all of us will revolt?
Yes,
you think we'll ever get there?
I believe so. And I just hope that when we get there, it will be done by reasonable people.
The question I also want to ask you is, this one that you just said, you just hope that it will be done by reasonable people, which means it can be hijacked and turned into something.
It's not hijacked. It just means that,
people who have the interest.
It's like you have people who still speak English and grammar now, who are leading some of these movements. It could get to a point where it could just be like people are tired of even the grammar speaking.
Well, no one hear anything.
They just want to shut down everything. And it's exactly what Ken Saro-Wiwa was saying when his last statement at the tribunal that Abacha set up to kill him, that he will be the last person to use non-violence to solve Niger Delta problem. A few years later, you saw what happened.
Mm-hmm. Another question I want to ask is,
you saw armed struggle, full scale in Niger Delta region. And Niger Delta region has not recovered from that today. Had they listened to Ken Saro-Wiwa and started addressing the issues of environmental degradation, economic justice in the Niger Delta region, as far back as 1995, we wouldn't have had an Asari Dokubo, a Boylof, and the rest of the guys who went and started the next phase of the struggle in Kayama.
Now, the question I want to ask is, if I be you, I probably would think this way. Because the people you're fighting for, I've asked you this question if you regret it. Another side of the question is, do you think if Nigerians were thinking differently, if then they say, okay, we go stand behind this person, say things for they different? Because I remember during the election, now only one person, now I know, with the shout, Sowore, if I go vote anybody, it was Daddy Freeze. So I know, no, Sowore. If not get sense, do you think Nigerians really know what they want? Or we are just moving by...
Yeah. What I would tell you is this. The situation of Nigeria today was properly planned.
Oh, wow.
Yes. When they started defunding education in the 70s, and then removing free education, healthcare, they were planning for the citizens that you have today. Yes. Because the easiest people to lead are ignorant people. And you will find out that the last set of people who can still stand up in Nigeria today and speak with dignity are some of the people who had free education and some of them who went abroad to go to school, funded by the Nigerian people. And some of them, regardless of what happened, they will never leave this country. So we have to be careful not to also be too hard on the victims. Because all these people you are talking about, the people who hate you and I for speaking truth, they are the victims of the Nigeria that has been programmed to fail over time. So when they were doing structural adjustment program, and that's why I was telling you about the global conspiracy against them, they knew that it would produce this kind of country. Now they know that this economic system will be broken. When they are saying don't fund electricity, they know that Kaduna textile will collapse because they can't afford. It is easier for you to buy Ankara from China today.
Yes.
And very soon, Gary. It's cheaper.
Very soon, Gary.
Yes. China is actually have taken the Gary technology to China. And they're going to be importing Gary here if they have not started it already.
Hey.
But if that one is too far from you, what about the cashew that they are reprocessing in China that you are buying in your supermarkets now? Cashew, yes.
At Uturu, there's a large cashew up to now.
Yes.
There's cashew plantation. Uturu is cashew.
All the timbers that are leaving Calabar, they are going to China to be processed and sold back to you, or Turkey, and sold back to you as bulletproof wooden doors. So if the moment you don't have that capacity to process your raw materials, you have lost out. And that is what they were doing with structural adjustment program that people didn't pay attention to in those days. So Nigeria did not happen to the victims you are looking at overnight. And then when they came with the distractions, and entertainment was supposed to not be a distraction. But when it got here,
it became a distraction.
I was in the US when they were doing Big Brother USA. And some 20 years later, I came back to Nigeria and they are still doing it. The people who started it in the USA have forgotten that they even did any show like that. And I was like, wow, what a fundamental distraction a society could get. But don't also forget that education doesn't come from classroom alone. Sometimes it comes from suffering. Yes.
Education doesn't come from classroom alone.
Yes.
Sometimes it comes from suffering.
Yes. So a lot of people have also become very conscious as a result of their very horrible experiences in the hands of Nigeria. The way you put it is people that Nigeria has happened to. And that is the pool that I said could surprise you.
When you were
Baba, Noves, now I have this question.
Yes.
Noves.
I want to ask
Before the Igbo own.
Yes.
Just listening to you speak about the current state of the country and some of your experiences from the past, it is clear that when we attempt to find solutions to the problems of Nigeria, sometimes we look at it and say, is it that these people don't have sense? Or I am the only sensible one? I'll state two examples. You mentioned that the first time you were beaten by the police was in 1992.
Yes.
And nearly 20 or almost 20 years after,
2021.
somebody just called their boss. Sowore did there. And then descended on you.
Yes.
Now, in 2020, Nigerians came out in their numbers to ask for that rogue unit of the police force to be disbanded.
Yes.
And call for improvement in the welfare of police officers.
Yes.
These same people that Nigerians were fighting for are the same people who turned against Nigerians.
Yes.
Some of them, not
Some
all.
of them.
Because some go tell you, say, this one I do not the truth, but we not fit talk am. And you mentioned another example of when Abacha died.
Yes.
And it was the first and last
Throwing
time that you hugged a police officer.
By accident too.
By accident. So them too, they rejoiced that time, then they happy.
Oh, yes.
But when he reached to say, these same people, when we they fight against, when be the oppressors, now them then still they use.
Yes.
How does that even make any sense?
It does, so it will make sense because it's foundational. Nigeria's problem is foundational to a large extent. So Nigeria has two major problems. One is foundational and the other one is institutional. But the foundational started first. You must look at what is the foundation of the Nigerian police. It was founded to protect the business called Nigeria.
Not the people.
Not the people.
By the colonial
In fact,
overlords.
the Nigeria police used to be called Katsina Askari. So
Askari.
They have transformed to different. At the time, it was for a regional police. So they are transformed from time to time. But just look at why they were created. They were not created to protect the people. They were created to protect their oppressors. And it started with the white colonialists. So there was never a time the police looked back and said, now people where we there for. And the people who are now programming them to do what they do, you see their curriculum, the way they train them, now still to be wicked. And to be more wicked, they will put them for barracks where human beings no fit stay for. That's how you dehumanize. That's how you do what I call animalize people.
You break them, break their
You
spirits.
make people just behave like animals by putting them in situations that animals even cannot be in. So it's one of the things I used to tell people when they say, Nnamdi Kanu, there are some people who have grudge against Nnamdi because they say he calls Nigeria zoo. I said to them, zoo that I've been to is better than Nigeria. Into zoos before that, the animals have doctors. They take naps. They serve siesta, monkeys. They'll carry them and go. And then they'll bring them, when they have children, they have their offsprings, they'll take care of them. They will even announce it on TV. Say, this animal is just born. And celebrate for us. Say, just born, because it never born in the last 3 years. That's how zoos, animals in the zoo are treated. Which Nigeria where you see where their leaders they treat animals for modern day zoos, so not be the zoo where they for Ibadan. And I make the lions they chop the people where be zookeepers these days because even those ones, they don't be inside revolutionary mode.
Our own for Nigeria,
Yes.
now lie on the thief money.
Yes.
Now snake the thief money.
Yeah. Peter will be on and be say, me, I get issue with anybody we don't govern this country. At any, whether you be local government or state or you be national, we no fit show me what you do. Make you listen,
Okay.
you know, because most of them no say I know Peter Obi. I know Peter Obi since when he become governor for Anambra State. In fact, I be one of the people where they support Peter Obi that time when he be governor. So when Obasanjo want take Andy back come out time, now we they report all the judgments mago where they do. We keep Peter Obi in power. But when Peter Obi finish for Anambra State, one question where I ask, we say, you will be Peter Obi, you fit send your child go any university where you build for there, no answer. You yourself, you enter any hospital for Anambra that you have governed for 8 years, where if you get headache, make you treat yourself for there, no. And the Nigerians will talk, say, Peter Obi, I said, na packaging, nobody knows sabi to package things. I ask people, say, you feel pack your load now. Say, my next vacation, na Anambra, I won't go spend them. Nobody feel answer me. Because for me, governance not be something where you go talk, say, lesser evil. There's no lesser evil in my books. If you are evil, you are evil. If you are good, you are good. Mm-hmm. But I am not interfering with people who have emotional attachments to people. Some people, if you talk, say, like a friend of mine said, I don't care whether Peter Obi is good or is the turn of the Igbos. No, he's not. I was younger than him. The SDP guy is 50 years, even younger than me in the last election. It's the turn of the Igbos. Now I tell the guy, say, who tell you say I not be Igbo? Yes.
Are you Igbo?
You don't know exactly. Because even South Africa is what they call Bantus. Not be Igbos then be. Now from here, where they go in the Benue Trough.
Yes.
Go there.
Yes.
So if you never do DNA test, you know if you know who be Igbo. Some Americans, they now when they do DNA test, they discover say they're Igbo. Are you more Igbo than them?
Some Jamaicans, mostly Jamaicans also.
But that's on a less serious note. So I have a general disdain for non-performance.
But what did he do that you can say, now this thing where Peter Obi did do? Because you mentioned that you said he's been packaged. So are you telling us that all those things
he saved money when he was leaving the office? There was money.
So where the money was saved? Which bank in there?
He said he was in the bank.
He said he was in the bank.
Fidelity Bank.
So you they accept if another person tell you that kind of story, say he said he's in the
So
bank.
are you saying he's lying?
The person will take over from Obiano, talks in a lie, the video day. Say they don't save any money. In fact, say them owe money. That the money that they claim to save, they don't already owe them to contractors. This one day, now go cover them up because una candidates.
But no,
I'm telling you now, this one is public information now. They do not be for Wazobia where I know you.
Yes.
Yes, now. Husband material. Not be for Wazobia. Yes. The time where we did interview for 2019. Peter will be there outside that time.
No, you
know. That's they ask questions that time now. So why una not come ask question for 2023? If now carry me that time for Wazobia, now go ask. You even get this man, Ukubi. Ukubi will come climb one place, begin wire me questions. But the truth is that we must all agree that in an attempt to look for something, solution, we had become so disillusioned that any iota of solution that presents itself to us is acceptable.
But you're not going to blame us because when person don't suffer too much.
But if I don't come join you now, yes, if I don't come join you now, you can't hold it against me. Because of all the people we don't contest for this election in 2019 and 2023, I dare among the people we know everybody pass. I'm part of every government in the last 7 to 8 leaders in this country. But I mean, enforcing them to do what is right, starting from Babangida, make it listen, followed by Shonekon, who spent 84 days in power. Now we drive and come out. Followed by Abacha, who then died. Followed by Abdul Salam, Yes, the one we did there now, who I challenged during the last peace. Where I tell him, say, make you go find somewhere, sit down. If to say now, no annul 1993 June 12th election, we for know they do peace committee in 2023 or whatever time you started, followed by Obasanjo, who we fought when he wanted to do third term. Yes.
I remember.
Obasanjo come bring Yar'Adua. Yar'Adua had died 5 months before he was declared dead. He was brain dead for 5 months in this country. Now we fight the battle to show say Yar'Adua and they come back. Followed by Jonathan from the Niger Delta region for the first time in the history of this country. And then followed by Buhari, who had been president before. So now we are back to Emilokon. So if I tell you that I know all these people, and they also know that I know them, and I tell you that this is what they are capable of doing, and you refuse to listen to me, and I stick with my own position, and you stick with your own position, there's nothing wrong with that.
But why you not join hand, take form Votron with Peter Obi?
There's no Votron to be formed now. If I join Peter Obi, I will be going against what I have always stood for, which is that I would never support a Nigerian leader who has been president, governor, chairman, local government councillor before, who I consider non-performing. It's the same reason I would never have joined hands with Atiku. And the Peter Obi you are talking about was vice president to Atiku when I was the presidential candidate in 2019.
Yes.
So what are we talking about?